So welcome to this latest video on 162 Maths, and in this video we'll be going over some past GCSE exam questions related to angles on parallel lines. Now as always, I'll include a copy of the questions that we go through in this topic test as a link in the description, along with lesson links that go over each of the aspects in greater detail. Now before we get started, let's just have a quick overview over what it is you need to revise and know before tackling questions on angles on parallel lines. So in terms of what you need to know, the obvious one is knowing what corresponding alternate, co-interior and supplementary angles are, and also being able to quote when you see them. Now again, just an example of this, it goes into more further detail with regards to the lesson links that I've added in the description, but corresponding angles are basically what we formerly known as F angles, which you can't call, but you need to call it corresponding angles. So that's showing that these two angles here would be the same. But you also need to recognize the opposite F's. Well, actually that's an opposite F. This angle here, but also the other side as well, or it's been flipped. So those two angles there are going to be the same, and these two angles here are going to be the same. Then for alternate angles, they are what we formerly known as Z angles. And again, you're not allowed to call them Z angles, so that will be this angle here is the same as this angle here. You also need to look out for opposite ones, so that angle there will be the same as this angle here. And then we move on to co-interior, which aren't equal, which we call C angles, but basically add up to 180. So this angle here plus this angle here will add up to 180. And again, likewise for all the others. But remember, you do need to look out for those parallel lines, so look out for those markings on those straight lines. You also need to know opposite angles are equal, so again, that's where you've got like an X. And again, this is not in reference to parallel lines, clearly, but these two angles here are going to be the same, and these two angles here are going to be the same. Other angle facts, so angles inside a triangle add up to 180, angles inside a polygon, so again you need to know what the angles are, so it's going to be 180 minus or multiplied by n minus 2, where n is the number of sides. But I would say more often than not it's just angles inside a quadrilateral or a pentagon, so you just need to know that. Angles on a straight line, hopefully you know that add up to 180, angles around a point add up to 360. Angles inside isosceles triangles, so you've got two angles that are the same. And equilateral triangles, where each angle is 60 degrees. And you also need to know geometric notation, so know how to label angles and how to label sides as well. That'll definitely come in handy when explaining your answer. Now again, if you're not sure about any of these concepts, then I'll include some lesson links in the description below which go over all of these aspects in greater detail. So before we get started, a reminder that if you want access to these questions, all you need to do is just simply click on the link in the description. So looking at question 1, it says lines A, B, C, D, E intersect as shown. Lines A and B are parallel, work out the size of angle X. So for this, what we need to do is work out a few angles that we don't see or not asked to find. So I can work out what this angle here is, because angles on a straight line add up to 180, so that's going to be 180 minus 93, which gives me an answer of 87 degrees. Let me just use a thinner pen. So that's 87. I then also know that angles on a straight line add up to 180, so that's going to be 180 minus 56, which is 124. I know that opposite angles are equal, so this angle here is going to be 27. Oh, no, I wrote 77, so let me just get rid of that. Again, if you want to write the reasons, opposite angles on a straight line, again angles on a straight line. So then all that's left for me to do is work out what this angle here is, and as you can see it's a quadrilateral, so it's going to be 360 minus the three angles that I've found, which is 124 minus 87 minus 27, and that gives me an answer of 122 degrees. So this angle here is 122. So then to work out x, which is on a straight line to the angle I've just found, so it's going to be 180 minus 122, which equals 58 degrees. So x equals 58 degrees. Then moving on to question 2, it says in a triangle ABC, AB is equal to AC. It says AB is parallel to CD. Show that the triangle BCD is isosceles. Well, if isosceles, then two interior angles will be equal. So what we need to do is, first of all, let's start by writing down noting the triangle that we're talking about. So we're talking about this triangle here. So from this, we know that ABC is an isosceles triangle. So I can work out what angle these two things are. So that's going to be 180 minus 48 divided by 2. And again, if I work that out, 180 minus 48 divided by 2 gives me an answer of 66. So this is 66 and this is 66. Now this angle is going to be the same as this angle because it is alternate. So that's going to equal 66 degrees. So therefore I've got two angles that are the same. So as CDB equals DCB, in which they're both 66 degrees, triangle BCD is isosceles. Then moving on to question 3, it says ABC is an isosceles triangle with AB equals BC. AB is parallel to DE. Show that the triangle CDE is isosceles. So first things first, I can work out what this angle here is going to be. And I can do that by doing 180 minus 93 minus 27, because angles inside a triangle add up to 180. So minus 93 minus 27 gives me an answer of 60. Now this angle here is going to be the same as that angle there because it is alternate. And one thing that I did forget to do is to mark the triangle that's in question. The triangle in question is showing that this triangle here is isosceles. So if that angle there is 160, I can then work out what this angle here is going to be by doing 180 minus 93 minus 60. Now that's going to give me an answer of 27. So this angle here is 27. The next thing for me then to do is to work out what the rest of the angles are going to be. Well, this angle here is going to be, well, it says that ABC is a isosceles triangle. So this triangle here, this angle here, because these two lengths here are equal, this angle here is going to be 27. So therefore, these two angles here are the same. And what colour have we not used? Let's go for green. So this angle and this angle are the same. So as EDC equals DCE, in the fact that they're both 27 degrees, triangle CDE is isosceles. Moving on to question 4, it says AB and CD are parallel. Work out the value of x. So let's have a look. So we can work out what this angle here is going to be. And we can do that because we know that angles on a straight line add up to 180. So that's going to be 180 minus 107 minus 33, which gives me an angle 40. Then we can work out this angle here because it's co-interior or supplementary. So that's going to be 180 minus 107, which is 73. Therefore, I can then work out what this angle here is going to be, because angles in a triangle add up to 180. So that's going to be 180 minus, well actually it's angles on a straight line, minus 73 minus 55 equals 180 minus 73 minus 55 gives me an answer of 52. So then from this I can then work out what x is, because angles in a triangle add up to 180, so that's going to be 180 minus 40 minus 52. So 180 minus 92 gives me an answer of 88 degrees. So x equals 88. Then moving on to question 5, it says in the diagram AB is parallel to CG, AE is parallel to BD, find the size of angle X. So let's have a look. Well, we can see that if AB is parallel to CG, then this angle here is going to be the same as this angle here because it's alternate. So X is going to equal 33 degrees, in which I'm just going to write that just in case I need it later. It then says find the size of angle Y. So to find the size of angle Y, let's have a look at what we need to know. Well, we know that this angle here is on a straight line, so that's going to be 180 minus 33, which gives me 147. So that's 147. So then to work out what this angle here is going to be, well, if I can work out what this angle here is, well, that's going to be 180 minus 72, which is 108. Now, these two angles here are co-interior. So this angle here is going to be 180 minus 108, which is 72. So then, now that I know all four angles of the quadrilateral of ABCF, I can then work out what y is. So it's going to be 360 minus 33 minus 147 minus 72. And if I work all of that out, I get an answer of 108. So y equals 108. Then moving on to question 5c, it says work out the angle of Z. So from this I can then work out what this angle here is, because that's going to be 180 minus 72, which is 108. I can then work out what this angle here is by doing 180 minus 147, which is 33. Then angles inside a triangle add up to 180, so Z is going to equal 180 minus 33 minus 108, which gives me an answer of 39. So X equals 39. Then moving on to question 6, it says in the diagram below, angle ABF is 5 times the size of angle EFB. Angle DEG is 3 times the size of angle EFB. And it says work out the size of angle X. So we know that this angle here is going to be 3x because it's opposite. And we know that angles inside a triangle add up to 180. So 180 equals 5x plus x plus 3x. So altogether that's 9x. So 180 equals 9x. So therefore x equals 20 degrees. Then moving on to question 6b, it says angle EBE is equal to angle CBF. Are the lines AC and DF parallel? Yes, no, give your answer. So the two angles that are equal is ABE, which is this angle here. And it says that that angle is equal to CBF, which is this angle here. And the question is asking, is that parallel to, is AC parallel to DF? So is AC, so is this line here parallel to this line here. So what I need to do is I need to work out what this angle here is going to be. Well, if this angle here is 5x and x equals 20, then this angle here is going to be 100 degrees. Then to work out this angle, if this angle here is y and this angle here is y, then 2y plus 100 equals 180, because we know that the AC is a straight line. So 2y equals 80, so y equals 40. Now if this angle here is 3x, then that's going to be 60. So as you can see, if AC is parallel to DF, then these two angles here should be the same. So the answer is going to be no, as the angle, and it's ABE, is not equal to BEF. And so something along those lines would be fine. Moving on to question 7, it says the diagram shows 3 straight lines. All angles are in degrees. Prove that AC is parallel to DF. So AC is this line here, and DF is this line here. So all we can say is that if those two lines are parallel, so if parallel, then angle CBE, which is this angle here, is going to be equal to angle BED as its alternate. So this is what I'm going to be using to prove whether that is true. So I'm going to find out what those two angles here are. Well, I know that LM is a straight line, so I know that these two angles here are equal. So therefore FEM is equal to BED because they are opposite. So that's a fact. So that means that 3x plus 15 equals 4x. So then solving this, I get x equals 15. So this is going to be 60. This is going to be 120. And this is going to be 45 plus 15, which is 60. So then I can then work out what these angle here is going to be. So this angle here is going to be 60 degrees. So as you can see, this angle is equal to this angle, so therefore it's going to be parallel. So angle CBE is equal to 60 degrees, and BED is also equal to 60 degrees. So as CBE is equal to BED, then AC is parallel to DF. Then moving on to question 8, it says AD is parallel to BF, CE is perpendicular to BD, show that x equals 128. So I know that this is 90 degrees. So then what I can then work out is if BF and AD are parallel, then this angle here is going to be 38 because it's alternate. So that means that this angle here is going to be 90 degrees, and I can then work out what this angle here is. So that's going to be 180 minus 90 minus 38, because angles in a triangle add up to 180. So that's going to give me, what, 52 degrees. So then to work out angle X, it's going to be 180, because it's a straight line, minus 52, which equals 128. And there I've shown that X equals 128. So moving on to question 9, it says the diagram shows triangle and a trapezium. Prove that X equals Y. So for this, as we know that this is a trapezium, then we know then that these two lines here are going to be parallel, because that's one of the key properties of a trapezium, which therefore means that this angle plus this angle adds up to 180. So Z, let's do in alphabetical order. So we've got Y plus Z equals 180. And the reason for that is because they're co-interior or supplementary. Let me just put a little box around that. Now we also know that 105 plus x plus 75 plus z equals 360 because of angles around a point. So neatening all of this up, I get 105 plus 70, which is 180. So I've got 180 plus x plus z equals 360. So x plus z equals 180. So then if I do a bit of substitution, so if I rearrange this to make z the subject, so z equals 180 minus x. So then if I substitute this into this, then what I end up with, let's just get a different colour. So I've got y plus 180 minus x equals 180. So then x plus 180 plus y, actually it's going to be minus 180. No, minus, oh, I've got that wrong, bear with me. So here I've got y plus 180 minus x equals 180. Take the 180 over to the other side, so that becomes 0. So y minus x equals 0. So y equals x, or x equals y, which is exactly what they wanted me to show. Then moving on to question 10, it says A, B, C, D, E, F are straight lines. Show that AB is parallel to CD. So AB is this line here, and CD is this line here. So if parallel, then angle BFG, shout out to Rodol, and DGH are going to be equal. And the reason for that is because they're corresponding. So we know that this is a straight line. We know that for fact because it tells us here. So that means that 5x plus 8 plus 3x plus 12 equals 180. So neatening all of this up, I get 8x plus 20 equals 180. So 8x equals 160. So x equals 20. So then substituting x equals 20, I can then work out what these angles here are going to be. So that's going to be 5 lots of 20 plus 8, which equals 108. This angle here is going to be 3 lots of 20 plus 12, which is 72. And then working out this angle here, that's going to be 2 lots of 20 plus 32, which equals 72 degrees. So as you can see, as these two angles here are the same, AB is going to be parallel to CD. So as these two angles are the same, AB is parallel to CD. Then moving on to our last question, it says Caroline assumes that AB and CD are parallel lines. What answer should she get for the angle of Y? So let's have a look at what she should get. So first things first, if AB and CD are parallel, then that means that this angle is going to equal this angle because they're corresponding. So if AB and CD are parallel, then 5x minus 45 equals 2x plus 15, as they are parallel, as they are not parallel, as they are corresponding. So 5x minus 45 equals 2x plus 15, so that's going to give me 3x equals 60, so x equals 20. So if x equals 20, then this angle here is going to be 100 minus 45, which is 55. This angle here is also going to be 55, so to work out y, it's going to be 180 minus 55, which gives me an answer of 125 degrees. So then moving on to the final part, it says, in fact, AB and CD are not parallel. Angle Z is 45 degrees. What effect does this have on the size of angle Y? Is it Y is bigger, Y is the same, or Y is smaller? Now again, do not tick a box until you've worked it out. So let's have a look at what this is. So if and again, you probably won't do this in an exam. Let me just rub out what I've just done. So we know that angle Z is 45 degrees. Now if that's 45 degrees, then I can then work out what this angle here is going to be, because it's on a straight line. So that angle there is going to be 135. It's going to be 180 minus 45. Then from this, I know that this line here is a straight line. So if this angle here is 135, then these two angles must add up to 180. So then 135 plus 5x minus 45 equals 180. So then simplifying all of this, I get 5x plus 90 equals 180. So 5x equals 90. So x equals 18 degrees. Then if x is 18 degrees, I can then work out what y is. So this angle here is going to be 2 lots of 18 plus 15, which is 36, plus 15, which is 51. So then working out y, that's going to be 180 minus 51, which is 129. So comparing this angle of 129 to 125, y is bigger. And again, in terms of my supporting answer, I just need to write down what I've just written on the diagram. And there we go.